Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. Don't panic, it's Friday. Here's a nut for my buddy Rhett. There you go, buddy. And I think I threw that in there. She's coming down, so I'm guessing I got it in there. And we are finishing up. If I remember correctly, I haven't looked at anything, but if I remember correctly, we are finishing up the last of the unit tests. We are currently at 99.42%, 520 out of 523 statements tested, 66 out of 67 branches tested, which is 98.5, 141 out of 141 functions tested, which is 100%, 100, perfect, and 517 out of 520. I guess now that I think about it, a big reason people probably like unit tests is because it is just hard to achieve perfection in life, and that is one place where it is actually quite possible, and that's on unit test coverage. So I was thinking through this, and there are so many new sort of concepts and ideas, or concepts and ideas that maybe I was aware of but I wasn't comfortable with, or I was aware of and never did, that happened as a direct result of unit testing, and that I got to really contemplate as I was doing it. There's dozens, at least dozens of very advanced topics, and I would say the one that there's three that I really stand out for me. I think there's always three, probably just because my brain, that's what it's most comfortable with, three. Um, so the first topic that I was pretty excited about and all that, that I'd used a ton, never really thought through, was bind. So binding a function. And binding a function is really neat because it, uh, it's just like conceptually the idea that a function has a context, which is a very advanced topic in and of itself, but has a context in that you control the context by passing it the word this. You're saying, hey, that guy's context is the same context as my context. I don't want you to try to run without the context. And that bind is just so incredibly useful while you're coding, trying to fix bugs, trying to create new features, that kind of thing. But it's difficult. It's sort of a difficult thing to unit test, because then you have to be concerned with the context. The context of the function, and unit tests are a lot easier to do when all the functions that you're testing are pure. And that's another advanced topic that we kind of went over a lot, but I didn't make my top three. Number two is the idea of a a function that you create, a predicate factory function, and that's a function that you create and you define in such a way that it returns, that you create in such a way that it has the specific scope to what you want, which is very related to the whole context thing, but it is different. And so, anyways, so you can create a function, and then um, and then when you create it, it has it has a reference to any arguments or anything that you passed into the function, that the factory, the function that created that function. So that is a super abstract and difficult concept, but I definitely feel like I have it down pat now, because of unit tests. Now, to me, literally for the rest of the time I'm on this earth coding, that piece of knowledge is always going to probably stick with me, and I will be very happy that I did get that. So it made unit tests worthwhile for me. Again, I don't know. I don't think it's been good for the project, but it's been good for me. Um, so, and then I forgot the third one, but I'll probably remember while I'm working on this. Oh, this is a completely novel concept I'd never heard of. Never. I don't think it's formalized into this name. I think ChatGPT just sort of gave me a very informal name for it, and it's functions over flow. And that's like the concept of breaking down branches, because branches are notoriously difficult to unit test, and replacing them with code, which is really what I needed to do in my last thing. So I used to have a branch. This used to be a part of a branch that I was having a challenge unit testing. And so instead I moved it into here, into this pure function. And then this pure function, because it doesn't care about that, it should be a lot easier to mock the existing visualization and then just execute this stuff. So that is that. Let's see, it's 8:26. I know my daughter-in-law is supposed to come in and go at 9, and she has a Staffordshire Terrier, which is like the sweetest animal ever, but it is a ball of energy, and makes that little dog makes it hard to get Rhett back into her main cage. So I always have to be like on high alert. She's supposed to be here in 33 minutes, so, and I'm supposed to start work in 33 minutes. Speaking of that, I did go into work this week. I dealt with Atlanta traffic twice. Man, it's like, if you only do it every once in a while, it's actually quite stimulating. But if you have to do that on a day-to-day basis, oh my gosh, it would just wear you down. And I am exhausted. I'm physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted. And I think a big part of that was the actual traffic driving in and out of there. It just takes a toll. Anyway, so we need to create a unit test that does this, and it knows how to create an ST visualization, because I don't really care about the undefined part, and then it needs to create a viz component. So that should not be too hard. I believe we have a ton of tests that already do that kind of thing. And are we already there? Yeah, we're already there. Hopefully the mouse or the cursor is somewhere that makes sense. All right, so what we want is a component, and that component needs to have a function on it called set visualization ID. So we need a mock viz component. So this is a mock viz. And we also need a component. We need a mock ST visualization. So that's this guy. And then we need a viz component, a mock viz component. So this actually creates a viz component and uses it. I wonder if we have a mock viz component. And I guess the easiest way to find that would be to just control F this. Okay, so this guy okay, so this is an ST visualization, and it has a viz component, and the viz. So I'm wondering if I wonder if I have a set as initialized anywhere. Okay, so this one, so we only have one. It's this one. It creates this. And it creates a spy of ST visualization. So basically, behind the scenes, it creates one of these, and ST visualization with the viz component of null. So I think this has everything right, because it has an ST visualization, and it mocks out the set as initialized. I always feel like, since really all I care about is coverage, at this point, I'm back to that. Let's do this. Service dot initialize with component, and it wants our Oh, we don't have a mock empty viz. And it also has a mock component. I feel like that should work. So we're telling it that we have an existing visualization, and then it's just supposed to run that function. And I believe behind the scenes we could actually check to see if that function got run. I've never really understood the point of that. You know, like, why am I testing to see if something got run? I tested the thing that got run. I don't know. Maybe one day that'll make sense to me. Right now it doesn't. So we are doing this, and it is not rerunning the unit test. So I think we figured out in the last video on Wednesday, that if I hit refresh, it actually reruns that. Okay, so we didn't end up with any failures, so that didn't break anything. And we are at 100. That's nice. And I think now, I guess just for fun, just out of curiosity, since we're here, and I still have like 28 minutes, I can do this. We want to, I think we can just say expect. I'm just doing this out of just trying to remember mock component dot set as is to initialized to have been called. I think that will test to see if it actually got ran, which, you know, I don't really think proves anything, but it's fun. All right, so that passed. It was happy. So apparently set as initialized was in fact called. Looks like we have a warning. Do we have any? Oh, we have a log. And unfortunately this log doesn't tell you where. 3. Okay, so that was logged, must have been logged by the ThreeJS outside of us. Oh, we do have this warning. Visualization service gets a visualization for a component, has no expectations. So let's go find that. Is it not in here? Okay. So I guess what we want to do is gets a visualization. It kind of puts things together. Yeah, see, it added the visualization service, which is the service that we were in. So this guy has no expectations. I expect. I don't even know. I don't even care. Don't care. Don't know, don't care. I feel like this has been like, I don't know. I don't know how you can declare spending a whole bunch of time on unit tests, more time on unit tests than probably coding or any other aspect of the process than anything as a success. But you can be happy that you learned stuff. You know what I mean? And, I think to be truthy should be a good. So to be truthy would be like if it exists, basically. I think that would be like, I mean, it could be true, it could just exist, it could, you know, there's a lot of things, but it is interesting that I feel a little better about just being like, I don't really care if this does anything particularly useful. All I care about is getting my 100%. Um, and I really was a little bit more tightly wound on Wednesday and on Monday. So um, it does seem like I'm after a few days of going into work, I just don't care as much. Not about work. I can definitely care a lot about work, but I don't care as much about like getting every nitty gritty grinding detail that's um, how I know I need to really dig in and understand what all this is doing. It's just like, no, I just want it 100%. All right, so now we are at hundreds all the way across on all throughout the entire application. I guess I still have 24 minutes. Or really not 24 minutes, like, because I want to stop 5 minutes early. So 19 minutes. And now we'll just sort of eyeball. Okay, apparently I added a warn button somewhere in the coding, and its color is that. Guess we should double check that there is a warn button in the HTML somewhere. Because a lot of times, yeah, so basically in our tabular layout, oh yeah, that's right. That's, so like, goes for 200. We'll add something. Go back to here, and that's that color right there. That's pretty too. I like that. I think I probably spent some time like interacting with ChatGPT to determine the best color that would go with this aqua color. All right. So that is in fact necessary. This is our button. So, oh, and I forgot. It's kind of crazy. And that is sort of a strong indicator that that unit tests really do what I say and take you off the ball. Is I even forgot what our whole goal was, and the whole goal of this was to add the delete in the CRUD. So we were not capable of deleting a one of these before, and now we are. Now I feel like I had delete working in the last year's application in like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I had delete. You could add and wait. No, in last year's you couldn't have more than one visualization. We only had one visualization. So I've really gotten into like a lot of the puzzle games, like phone app games. Okay, I think that all looks good lately. And so it's just kind of like, man, I could probably mimic this game in 3D. One of the things that I think that according to ChatGPT and my interactions with ChatGPT is, okay, so that CSS doesn't exist. I do not know why. I think there's a government, like a federal, United States federal government mandate that you do not have empty files. I don't know why. I really don't. But there's probably a very good reason for it. But as far as from a development perspective, it's nice to already have all this stuff wired up. So if I ever do need to do some CSS, it's nice to just have it all done. I have to spend 35 minutes setting up everything and making sure I get it just right and all that. It's already just right. It's all set up. It's just ready to roll. It's just empty. I don't have any problem with that. I do recognize that there must be some sort of federal sort of context. Now, we are on major baby alert. My first grandchild is supposed to be born any day now, and I hear the phone ringing. So anytime I hear the phone ringing, my wife's phone ringing, I'm like, oh, has it happened? But so I might be rushing out of here in a second. I don't know. I feel like if it was, though, my son would have immediately told my wife, and he would be moving on to the next phone call. So I think we're probably okay. I think that looks good. This is where we set the types, reflow types. It's covered. So there's two types of reflowing, always and never. And that reflowing is what we do up here. import. So we removed routing. Don't know why. And we removed RxJS from this. Oh, we probably moved it. We probably changed the way we determine if which flow type we're in would be my guess. Can't remember. It feels like 10 years ago. Like it's gonna be fun doing unit tests. I mean, doing end-to-end tests tomorrow because we'll kind of start getting back into the flow of actually building applications. So we deleted a crap load of or three unit tests from the app model service. Oh, I think we ended up hijacking it. We had the app model service. It wasn't being used for anything, and then we ended up reusing it for flow. And I think the way we had it implemented, it was like causing some kind of error, some kind of runtime cyclical self-replicating error. Um, and like the thought that just crossed my mind was like, so we just added a new unit test there. The thought that entered my mind is, oh man, it's kind of a shame that that's something that you don't run across in unit testing because it'd be easier to understand. So that was an interesting thought. Um, okay, that all looks good. That all looks good. Oh, I was hoping that we were going to do a commit, but we really can't because I want to get my end-to-end tests going. Now, I wonder if my existing end-to-end tests are still going to work. I don't know. It just depends. I think by default we're reflow on, so I think that the end-to-end tests as they are coded would only work while reflow is on. When reflow is off, I don't think they'll work. And I don't think I have any concept of this tabular view in the end-to-end tests. But well, since we're almost all the way through, okay, let's go ahead and get rid of this comment. And yeah, I constantly have to rethink to myself, like, why do I even do this? What is the point? And probably the biggest reason I have to think about it is because, like people ask me, like, why do you do that? Every once in a while, like probably I would say the okay, so we do not want to get rid of that comment, but okay, yeah, I think we do want to get rid of this comment because this is just old code that we were keeping to bail out if we want. But these are definitely legit comments. And it looks like, yeah, this whole thing is gone. And I do think that the main, probably the main reason I do this is because it benefits me. I mean, it's simple as that. Like, I'm better off because I do it. That's why I do it. Um, I think there's an outside chance that like this literally may help other people. And even if it only helped one person, it is absolutely worth it because it benefited me. And I will like literally listen to the words that I've spoken here in the near future, and I will get another sort of round of, oh, this is the word predicate factory function, the concept of uh, functions overflow, um, that kind of thing. Like and those things, like those are your weapons of the PR, right? Like when you're a PR and someone says, "Hey, I don't. Why are you doing this? I'd rather it if you didn't do that." And you say, "Well, the thing is I in this specific thing, I felt like I would rather do functions over flow because it's a lot easier for new people to read and understand. And then maybe you can still get it through the PR. I mean, you may not, but you may. Your chances are better if you have the words. All right, so that is good. I do not think we need to have unit tests up in anymore. And then I'm going to say npm run Cypress and open. So we have about 9 minutes before I need to start shutting down. I am glad though. I'm glad to be that unit tests are behind us. I enjoyed them. Learned a lot. I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad I'm not going to worry about them. I should not be worrying about unit tests again until we have our first round of credit and of update. And I think I'm hoping, I'm believing, I hope I have the discipline to do just one update, one easy update, and build out all of the validation pieces. There's just a whole bunch of structure that has to go around it. And then hopefully when I add the second one, we don't end up having to do a complete teardown and rewrite to scale up to 2. And then when I have my 100th one, hopefully it's just like that's that architecture just is solid, and we're just widening the roads. We're not having to rip out things and rewire things up. So we've got our end-to-end testing of our getting started branch. But as soon as I got that first update thing, then I'm going to merge getting started, and the feature branches should all get much, much smaller from there on out. At this point, we're still like in a very early primitive state of the application. All right. All right. All right. I don't know. We're just going to try them all. Home. Where the buffalo roam. I actually had forgotten that we did all these. Oh, and routing, I think, yeah, we must have already got um, that other layout done before that, because I think that's the only route we have. Is like if we go to, since this is taking forever, um, when we go here, I think the only route we have is, yeah, so those went, is this. I don't know what's taking it so long. I had the same problem at work earlier this week, or maybe late last week, um, where Cypress was just like really, really slow. All right, so we are all green. So this one failed. And this one, I think it, so it was trying to click the map viz item, but apparently that couldn't happen. So that would be the very first thing we work on tomorrow. See what happens here. Yeah, I think everything's going to be broken at that point because for some reason it cannot find it. I imagine we had to change the structure to accommodate this reflow. And see, we broke the keyboard, and that is why we do end-to-end testing. Those other things, like, I don't know. I haven't really debugged them yet, what the problem is, but you can no longer use the keyboard to create visualizations. Maybe you can, but I don't know. And then routing. Okay, so that last one did it. So we have breakages in these 3, so we need to probably will just be a test fix, not that. But let's just double check. I think you can still get to there with, oh, okay, because I think it goes to this one first, and I believe, no, because we that, yeah, so then, okay, so you can still use it, but for some reason it's not working. We might actually be running into like, I think it's the selector changed. So, but it's weird that the tabbing changed. But maybe the in the tabbing I'm selecting too, which I really shouldn't be. Um, but I believe the tabbing works just like we wanted it to work. So I feel like this tabbing one, the keyboard one, is that button menu. So item. For some reason, the whole thing is the mat. So maybe that's like a problem in my. Oh, okay. So red. So I got two things back. I got an array, and um, I have it set up to click on the and Cypress returns an array, not an individual one. So I need to break that down into a. I need to like just get the first one, or maybe select the one with add viz in it, or something like that. Probably the first one is probably makes more sense because I don't want it to break just because I changed the text. Um, so, or I could maybe add another class, um, like the add viz button, and use that to select on. Or maybe I'll add an attribute, add viz button attribute. That's probably what I'll do. I probably want to try to figure out how to create a data item, a data attribute for add viz, and select that. I will say that I don't think this is going to take weeks to do. And I do think that these fixes are going to get my brain to the right thing, right place. I do think that at this point, and until the CRUD part is done, like this application is just really only one person can really work on it without causing massive um, Git conflicts. But anyways, it is 8:53, and this seems like a very good stopping point. Happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll planning to make another video tomorrow. Obviously, if something exciting in my life happens, I might have to miss, because any day now there's a little baby coming, and my first grandchild, and I'm really pumped about that. Happy coding all. Bye.